talk about here moving forward. So taking a look, this is from this spring, and literally what we're doing is just working getting near foot in the ground. And this was day 3 because we're in pads. And so as you look at this drill, both drillers are meant to be working the technique. So as you look, they're just working with each other here. The near foot should be down. Their feet should basically be interlocked. And the laser doesn't work. But if you look at the nearest pair to us, 22 is getting that near foot down. 45 has a square base, right? And so that's a negative rep. Up top, I think 33 looks good, and I think 2 looks okay. When we talk about power stagger with that near foot, is not like just a lead. It's not just the stagger that's important, meaning one foot in front of the other. It's a little bit elongated, and it's making sure, here's what we say, your feet should never be on the same plane. So if your feet are here, you're gonna be absorbing contact. If your feet are too staggered or narrow, they're on the same plane this way, you don't have power. This is the power stagger. There's separation, both lateral and vertical, and I got my near foot in the ground. That's what you're looking for. And so this is just a way for us to work into the point of contact, to really emphasize pounding those cleats down the ground. Again, you see 22 getting it, you see 33 getting it, you see 2 getting it, and 45 still a little too flat in his approach. An easy way to drill it. Here again, 33 getting it, just timing, getting the cleat down, making an emphasis to have it down. The next thing we'll work on in this same vein is how we move our feet through contact. And so what we want to do is get them engaged with the near foot up, and then have the look player who's going to be with their backs to us here is just meant to be really heavy, like you're an offensive lineman. And so what we tell them is we want to shuffle through contact. We want to keep our cleats in the ground. We have to be violent in the way we separate from the block with our hands. And I have them actually, as they grip the pads, bend the pads in their hands. Like, I want them to finish the day with fatigue and soreness in their hands. Like, that to me is such an important part of this, is how tight I can grip and control that block. All right, from there, they'll start the drill by pressing back violently, creating space for themselves, and then we just talk about step into the space you create. But as they do this, what you should see is whole foot in the ground and the feet working in a shuffle, right, to just continue to gain the ground that I'm creating through my press on the block. And this is meant to be a little bit of a grind. This particular rep, like, we'll finish posted up. So you see, we always talk about finishing on the back hip of the block, so that we're off its power. We'll talk about that a little more here in a second. But the reason for this drill, or what we're trying to accomplish this drill, is understanding how to navigate the point of attack with our feet. Because if not, the reason we do this drill is because naturally what was happening is feet would die at contact, or feet would stutter at contact. And anytime they went dead, or they started to lift off the ground, our guys got lifted out of the point of attack. All right, so that's what we're working. Some really good looks here. The middle 2 drills, just in terms of the shuffling footwork. If you see the pair that's the second pair in from the left, you'll see that whole foot in the ground, that lead foot down. The thing I don't like about the second pair in from the right is that's Asmar Bilal. Just, you can see he's on his toe. That front toe's down. Again, ankle flexibility coming into play there as you watch that. And so what we'll do then is in the same drill, and again, to create a little bit of a mental grind, is that we'll have them push on each other and just change who the lead is in the drill every time the whistle blows. And so all we're doing is, right now the guys coming off the yellow lines are on defense. They're driving through contact. As soon as the whistle blows, we change, and the guys from the red line push back. And then again, once they've both gone twice, you die the drill. But there's meant to be this element of like repeated skill, but also like some mental toughness, you know, kind of engage them that way and gas them out. Just to take a step back, like everything that we do and everything I believe in is about muscle memory. And so what you're gonna see on this is not necessarily drill work that always directly applies to how a play plays out, you know, snap in, snap out. but it's meant to be skills that can be repeatable in a drill sequence, that if we can do them 1,000,000 times before a player finishes his career, he can actually access them in the moment during the game, right? That he takes ownership over that skill the more he does them in repeated sequence. That's why you see this silly pushing back and forth, right? We're trying to create that muscle memory in what the feeling is like, both at the upper body level with my hand grip, with the separation, but in this drill, most importantly, with my feet. Whole foot in the ground, shuffling through contact. And so this is just another look at the same exercise. And again, we want near foot, the lead foot, whole foot down. And we want to be heavy. Like we talk a lot about heavy cleats. You know, you try to create visuals like there's dumbbells taped to your cleats, like they're heavy. Drive them into the ground to create the surface area. And this is just a half line drill that I love that we do, but this is just going to be some examples of guys getting that near leg down. Here, again, we call this technique dent and slip. So anytime that we use the shoulder or the forearm to dent the block, a near foot needs to be down. I think we get it here. From there, we're denting to slip to the back hip. And so you're not like looking to stick on the front of that block, but you're looking to just create a little bit of knockback on that shoulder and then step through to the surface so that I can get on the back hip. I think we do it here pretty effectively. The reason you see the snap of the offensive lineman, obviously he's coming, he's off kilter, right? But we don't create that snap without that near foot, that power being in the ground. So that's fairly illustrative of that. Here's another one. Again, you can see as Asmar reaches the point here, it's a nice hand strike. And not as important, like I said, if you're really good with your hands and firm with your hands, not as important with that near foot down. Here he's almost getting those feet on the same plane, on the same vertical plane, which would be negative, because if they are, or if he's not powerful enough, that he will get tipped here. But you can see him trying to work that near foot down, and now it helps him to create the power to get some knockback. And again, in these situations, we at times are giving up 100 pounds on these linemen. This is Bo Bauer. He's a freshman. So I gotta work with Bo to use his hands more in his strike. He has a tendency, and if you have a longer player, that length can be their advantage, even though they don't always want to use it. Bo's taller and longer. His punch is going to be violent once he learns to train it. Here again, though, when he's working the dent and slip, he's working to get that near foot in the ground. Near foot down, punch through. In the drill, the ball carrier for us is secondary. We're looking for power at the point of attack first. This drill for us is meant to be, I'm owning this gap and I'm playing off the combination. So here again, you see, Bo feels where the back's going, and that's why he's looking to escape back inside. But you can see again that near foot down and the power that he creates with his pad level where we want it. It's a nice rep. And there it is again, just with the punch and the near foot down. All right, like I said to you, at times when I have a great hand strike, that near foot's not as important. And so in this one, Asmar using face and hands, and we'll get a little bit into the triangle punch here. But remember this clip, if it doesn't come up later, in terms of that triangle punch you're seeing, and then the violent punch through with the right arm, right? That allows him to play a little more square at the point of attack. If I am really good with my hands, my base is less significant. I think we've seen enough of this. Let me keep going. All right, this one was just an example of, in a practice rep this season, and of attack at the point of attack. Number 2 is who I want to point out in particular. Again, he's working a dent and slip on the block, but notice just that near foot down at contact, right? Creating the power, knocking that shoulder back, and then slipping to the back hip of the block. Asmar 22 is working a technique we call rip and pry, which is actually removing the block surface. You can see his shoulders torque there right at the point. All he's doing is trying to get that blocker on his back to then slip through. We'll see that here in a minute. And then last one here, and this is triangle punch related too, but I'm playing the B gap. This is an unbalanced set, so he's taking on a tight end, not a tackle. You know, controlling the block with my hands working a violent punch and separate to then snatch back. And what he would want to factor in on here, like 53 is in a bit of a bind. If he can snatch tight, if that jump cut goes tight inside 53, he can factor in on the play. This is another way we work same foot, same shoulder. We do it with a strike, but it's just on this little 5-man fixed sled, and it's just meant to put your cleats in the ground of contact. What I don't like about this is, and what you see here at the extension, where I would call this a negative drill, is in the finish. You see his feet get light and start to pound the turf. You guys see it? Like, to me, that's setting himself up to be moved after contact. Better by 23. Near foot down, power stagger. Some of these guys are too square. 33 is way too spread, knees out, toes out. Much better here by jersey number 11, striking near foot down. Again, I don't want hopping feet through the point. There's a look at it, just another angle. So working near foot, heavy cleat in the ground. And this is just a play where, like, the near foot for number 2 on the left side of the screen, as he fit the guard pull. You can't, the goalpost gets in the way, but he gets that left cleat in the ground right there, and then you see the result of the contact is to knock the blocker back in. All right, so that is